today, guys, we are gonna have fun with our Sophia curl pattern, our Sophia wig. So I am going to lighten her up and give her some balayage, some highlights using the balayage technique, and then I'm going to tone her to maybe an ash highlights. I'm not sure. Let's dye her first and see where we end up, and then I will decide what color to make those highlights. All right, let's go. So guys, you're gonna see me talking through this video, but it was so sporadic that I just decided to mute that and just voice over. So I'll just walk you through the steps that I did, and if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments down below. So here I'm just going in and sectioning out 4 quadrants to the wig, the 2 in the back and 2 in the front. I've created 2 formulas. I created a 9 volume and a 20 volume lightening powder, and I used the L'Oreal Blond Studio Freehand Techniques lightning powder, clay lightning powder. So what I did is I have created a diagonal section, and I'm just weaving that first piece in the back of the head so that as the wind blows you have a little bit of more pretty highlight at the back if you're putting the hair up into a bun, or if the wind's blowing and the hair is blowing back. Now I'm going to be using the 9 volume lightning formula for the entire back of the hair, and then I'm going to use the 20 volume lightning formula for the top and front of the hair. So I'm just going in, I've deposited the lightener mid-shaft on the hair, and I'm painting downwards. As you can see, I'm not painting the underside, and that is to create dimension in the hair. What I'm doing is with each slice, I'm going in and painting the hair from mid-shaft down, and then I take the excess and I feather up so that I'm not creating any lines of demarcation. We should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The door's OPN. Take that hot road and hop in. You OPN, bitch you won't BBM. We should be closer. So guys, by using a clay lightener, it allows me not to have to use foils, because what the clay lightener does is it hardens around the hair as it dries, so that it minimizes the transfer of any lightener to other parts of the hair. And I'm not using foils because I am not taking this hair to like a level 9 or 10 bright blonde. I'm just lightening it to like a 7, maybe 6, 7 maximum, because I'm just going to go in after that and then tone it just to remove those red orange hues that are going to be left behind and create a really beautiful, it's almost, what I'm hoping for is like a mocha, like a cherry mocha almost, for the final result. So the important thing when you are doing the balayage on the wigs is to ensure that you are saturating right down to the ends. So you're going to see on some pieces, on thicker pieces, I am painting on the top of the slice, and then I am going in and saturating only at the tips of the hair so that I have that beautiful blend going right down to the tip. And then I go in and I place the lightener mid-shaft. So even if you are a little bit heavy on the lightener application, you can blend that down, and then you feather up so that you're not creating any harsh lines of demarcation in the final result. The other thing to think about when you are putting the highlights or lightening the wig so that you have your highlights, or the placement. It's good to think about the placement and where you want to see those highlights ahead of time. I mean, you can also, like, as you're working, try to figure that kind of thing out. I do that often as well. I'm putting the lightener on, I'm kind of saying, okay, well, I kind of want to see highlights here or there, or if I do a thinner slice, then I will saturate the entire slice, both the front and the back. And by switching it up and doing some slices where I'm painting only the top and then some slices where I'm saturating the entire slice, it creates a really pretty dimension in the final result. And it's lessening your work when you are painting only the top and leaving the bottom without lightener, because what you're doing is using the natural color of the wig to create that dimension for you without having to then go back and do different formulas for toning and so forth at the end. Children in the house, she's inappropriate. The way she's approaching us, I disassociate, exfoliate, the renegotiate. She's closing up. So what I'm doing is I'm going to do the same pattern of highlights on the other side of the back of the wig. I try to create not exact symmetry, but you want to have it fairly similar in terms of where those highlight placements are for the most even and pretty and symmetrical look. So I'm going to basically put the highlights and the pattern of how I create those highlights the same on this side as I did on the right side. And you can see there, guys, the hair is already starting to lift in color. Once you're using really good virgin hair, it does not take long for lightener to lift. I'm going in, I don't work that fast, and by the time I complete the entire application, it's about a half an hour, because I'm also talking and so forth, but I can probably bring that time down to about 20 minutes, especially because I'm making the slices really big. And then I'm going to leave it on for about another 15 minutes or so, but I'm just going to be checking on the color just to see when it has lifted to the desired color for what I'm going to be doing on this application. Take that hot road and hop in. You OPN, bitch, you won't BBM. We should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The door's OPN. Take that hot road and hop in. Open up, open up. Shut it down like a Macintosh. Open up, open, open. First impression, you OPN, we should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The door's OPN, take that hot road and hop in. First impression, you OPN, we should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The door's OPN, take that hot road and hop in. So just to repeat, guys, you're going to be placing the maximum amount of lightener mid-shaft, and then you're going to feather up. You do not want to place the lightener too high up, because you're going to have a really strong line of demarcation if you do that. You're going to see that I'm really doing a lot of feathering out at the top as I go up, so that I am not creating any lines of demarcation. And as you see, I left the bottom of that panel untouched to create that beautiful dimension. Now I'm just going in and I'm looking to see, when I look at the wig from the back, are there any spaces that could benefit from some highlights? and then I'm just going in and placing it there. The only thing when you're doing this is it's very important to connect that highlight from the top back down to the where you have the highlight placements mid shaft. So you can't just like take your brush and go and put a highlight at the top and not stroke it back down to connect with the rest of the lightening powder so that you have a consistent looking highlight. Now I'm moving to the front of the hair. I'm going to do smaller slices in the front. I want to create a money piece also for this wig, not a strong one, but one that's a face framing, a pretty one. So I've created a small slice at the front and I'm weaving it so that it's going to create a really pretty balayage face framing highlight at the front of the wig. I creating this slice so that it is going to be a middle part for this wig, and that's why you're seeing I've already created that middle part, and that's how I've parted the money piece. So I'm going to be saturating the entire top and back of the slice that I'm using for my money piece, and I'm doing those first so that they have the longest time to process, because I want them to be the brightest. Now at this point I've switched over to my 20 volume lightening formula, and now that I'm at the front of the hair and I'm working at the top of the front, I'm going to take smaller slices because you want a little bit more brightness around the face for this particular unit. The doors open, take that high road and hop in. Open up, shut it down. So guys, to create that money piece, you want to part that piece angled going backwards for about an inch on a diagonal so that you have a triangle for the money piece, and that's just going to create a nice line for you that's softened, so that when the hair is falling forward, the hair that's directly behind it is going to kind of create a softening effect to that money piece, or if the hair is pulled back or the wind is blowing, it has a stronger effect to that money piece. For the money piece, guys, you want to take the highlight, the lightener, right up maybe about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch away from the root. So you want to take that higher than you were taking the balayage pieces in the back. But you don't want to go right to the root. You just want to go maybe an inch away from the root, and make sure you feather up. You start mid shaft by putting your lightener down mid shaft. You saturate the hair going all the way down on both sides, and then you feather up to the top to create a soft blending effect without any line of demarcation. If you OPN, engaging is on my agenda. Request my chariot, get ya. The doors OPN, take that hot road and hop in. First impression. Now for the front sides, as opposed to the back where I was making the slices on a on a diagonal, I'm going to be doing these slices thinner, and I'll be doing them on the horizontal. First impression, you OPN, we should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging is on my agenda. Request my to create more dimension, I'm going to make a small slice, a thin slice, that's going to be unpainted, and then I'm going to go ahead and do another slice that's going to have the highlight on top of it. And the reason I'm doing this is so that I have a little bit more dimension and flare in the front of the hair. That's going to be the part that's seen. That's where the party's happening, in the front of the hair. So as you see, I've put the lightener down mid shaft. It's the same technique as we used in the back. We put this lightener down mid shaft, we paint down to the ends, we leave the bottom untouched, because that's really going to create that drama and that dimension that you really want to see in the front. And then you go ahead and complete your painting and you feather up. What you're seeing me do here is I'm doing some teasing of the hair. That's to create even more dimension. It's going to help with any lines of demarcation and really making it a seamless, beautiful blend. So at the front of the hair, there's a little bit more that you can do on a wig, because that's where like the majority of the design and the highlight and what you're going to be doing is going to be shown, right? Especially on a lace front wig as opposed to a full lace wig. I think if you're working on a full lace wig, you might want to take the time to do some more in the back if you so desire, just because with a full lace wig you can part it and style it in a lot more styling options. But this wig that I'm working on today is a lace front wig, so most of the styling is going to happen in the front of the wig, which is why I'm taking a little bit more time and yeah, a little bit more time to create really pretty highlights for that front piece.
The doors open, take that hot road and hop in. You open, bitch, you won't be BM. We should be closer than friends. If you open, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The doors open, take that hot road and hop in. Open up, open up, shut it down like a Macintosh. Open up, open up, open, open. First impression, you OPN. We should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The doors OPN. Take that hot road and hop in.
So you'll see at the front and the top of the wig, guys, you're going to see me doing a lot more weaving of the hair, leaving pieces out, doing a lot more teasing, and all this is so that I'm creating a really seamless but yet bright top piece, and highlights that are face framing, highlights that pop, and with a lot of dimensions to them. So that's why you're seeing various techniques that I'm doing at the top and the front of the face of the wig, sorry, because I want it to really be a pretty face framing highlight once we're done.
We should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The doors OPN. Take that hot road and hop in. Monarch butterflies, you should open up. I'm trying to put your heart together, found it broken up. Going up in smoke, smoking up. Make sure the children in the house, she's inappropriate. The way she's approaching us, I disassociate. Exfoliate, the renegotiate. She's closing up. Come to visit me, she say that she the loneliest, and it's hard to open up. Open you up like a Pokeball. Open up, tear you out for a Pokeball. Let your emotions waterfall on me. Open up. Open up. Open you up like a Pokeball. Open up. Tear you out for a Pokeball. Let your emotions waterfall on me. Open up. Open up. Need to deep breathe, heart and complications. Open up. Need to reread our conversation. Got me contemplation over our situation. Open up. You OPN. Bitch, you won't be BM. We should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The doors OPN. Take that hot road and hop in. You OPN. Bitch, you won't be BM. we should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The door's OPN. Take the high road and hop in. Open up, open up. Shut it down like a Macintosh. Open up, open, open. First impression, you OPN, we should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The door's OPN, take the high road and hop in. First impression, you OPN, we should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The door's OPN, take the high road and hop in. First impression, you OPN, we should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The door's OPN, take the high road and hop in. First impression, you OPN, we should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The door's OPN, take the high road and hop in. Monarch butterflies, you should open up. I'm trying to put your heart together, found it broken up. Going up in smoke, smoking up. Make sure the children in the house, she's inappropriate. The way she's approaching us, I disassociate. Exfoliate, the renegotiate. She's closing up. Come to visit me, she say that she the loneliest, and it's hard to open up. Open you up like a Pokeball. Open up, tear you out for a Pokeball. Let your emotion waterfall on me. Open up. Open up. Open you up like a Pokeball. Open up. Tear you out for a Pokeball. Let your emotion waterfall on me. Open up. Open up. Need to deep breathe, heartache complications. Open up. Need to reread our conversation. Contemplation over our situation. Open up. You OPN, bitch, you won't BBM. We should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The door's OPN, take the high road and hop in. You OPN, bitch, you won't BBM. We should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The door's OPN, take the high road and hop in. Open up, open up. Shut it down like a Macintosh. Open up, open, open.
Okay guys, so I left the lightening formula on for about 15 minutes. Then I went ahead and washed her out. You can see the lightened pieces there. You can see the money piece in the front, those two bright pieces, and then you can see the beautiful blend of highlights all throughout the wig going down to the tips. So now I'm going to be toning it using L'Oreal Dia Light 7.13 and clear. So what I'm doing is I'm sectioning out the money piece because I'm going to be putting a different gloss on that front piece. So I created two formulas, guys. I created, the first one is Dia Light 713 with with 9 volume developer, and then the second is clear with 9 volume developer. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to put the Dia Light 713 gloss over the mid lengths of the hair, and then I'm going to take what's left of that and add some clear to it to add to the front money piece as well as to the ends of the hair. So I want to cool it down a little bit. I don't want to make an ash blonde, or I would have gone lighter in my lightening. What I'm really trying to create is something that looks chocolatey but still has like a warm tone to it, which is why I chose 713. And we'll see what happens and how it turns out.
It's hard to open you up like a Pokeball. Open up, tear you out for a Pokeball. Let your emotions waterfall on me. Open up.
So guys, when you have different formula applications, you're gonna have to put them on with your brush. You don't have to be all neat about it. I'm just simply taking globs of it and adding it to the mid lengths of the hair, and you'll see that I'm leaving the tips out. And that's because I'm going to be putting the formula with the clear gloss on the ends just to keep them a little brighter than the mid lengths of the hair and to give it even more tone and dimension. So like, I'm just taking big clumps, I'm going through and adding that 713 toner to the mid lengths of the hair and leaving the tips out. I think the important thing to remember here is that saturation is key. So even though I'm taking like large pieces of hair and I'm putting it on bigger sections, I am going through and I'm massaging it with my fingers, and I'm opening up the hair to ensure that all the strands of hair get that toner application, because when you're doing this glossing step, saturation is key.
Request my chariot to get ya. The door's OPN. Take the high road and hop in. Open up, open up. Shut it down like a Macintosh. Open up, open, open. First impression, you OPN. We should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The door's OPN. Take the high road and hop in. First impression, you OPN, we should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The door's OPN. Take that hot road and hop in. First impression, you OPN. We should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging.
So now guys, you're gonna see that I've switched over and I'm now using the clear formula. I'm using the same spatula because really it's not that gonna make that big of a difference to me. If I was doing like a completely different color or something, then I would change my brush, but I'm just literally going to clear. So I'm now going in and putting that clear formula on the front pieces, and that is so that the front money piece stays bright and nice. And I'm also going to apply that clear to the tips, and then I'm just going to run everything through just to blend it all out and blend it all together.
The way she's approaching us, I disassociate, exfoliate, the renegotiate. She's closing up, come to visit me. She say that she the loneliest, and it's hard to open up. Open you up like a Pokeball. Open up, tear you out for a Pokeball. Let your emotion waterfall on me. Open up. Open up. Open you up like a Pokeball. Open up, tear you out for a Pokeball. Let your emotion waterfall on me. Open up. Open up. Need to deep breathe, heartache complications.
You guys have no idea how satisfying this part is to me. Like running my hands through that, oh, it's heaven.
Open up, you OPN, bitch you won't BBM. We should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The door's OPN. Take that hot road and hop in. You OPN.
So guys, this is the final result. I'll show you once it's dry. It's hard to see the color now that it's wet, but you're gonna see that it's no longer, it doesn't have those super bright orangey hues anymore. It's more like a mocha, which is exactly what I was going for. All we did was kind of cool down the brightness of the orange tones that were in it after it was lightened. And yeah, so pretty. And look at the curls, still popping, still in beautiful shape right to the ends. So once I've dried her, I will show you guys all the beautiful tones and highlights that we got from L'Oreal Dia Light 713 mixed with clear. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, let me know. Leave them in the comments section. If you want the formula, I can provide you the formula. If you want to know the processing time of how long I did for each step, just let me know, and I will get all the answers to you. Look at that. Look at the sunlight hitting that. Look at the ends. After a bleaching process, lightening process, and a color service. Look at this. Our wigs are the best. And I think like Heavens knew that I was doing some hair today, and just as I'm finishing this video, it's like glow hour. It's like, look at the sun coming through just to put some shine on this bad boy. You can see, now the light's hitting it, you can see the dimension in it, even without it being dry yet. Anyway guys, Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.